Hi teams, just a quick midweek update for you this week from myself. So a few things to cover off. First one being PPE and then some topics from today's CPS board meeting. So the first one is around PPE. Now you should all have got your equipment now in terms of your gloves, your aprons, and last week certainly the masks. Now we're getting a fair number of questions in regarding, now that we've got them all, how do we get rid of them all? And is it to be domestic or clinical waste? Now at the minute we are still awaiting final confirmation about how that will be treated. Health Protection Scotland's fully aware of the issue and are looking to get us guidance for tomorrow. Now where that comes or not, we'll wait and see, but that's the aspect. The current thinking is that it's probably just domestic waste, but that has not been fully confirmed yet. What we are hearing is that some of you in the pharmacies are making a decision around at the minute, separate it, keep it for 72 hours and then dispose of it. That would seem a sensible approach at the minute until we get definitive information for you. In terms of the CPS board meeting, one of the things we talked about was finances and how do we apportion that £5.58 million that was announced last week. And that's really for the activity in March 2020. So we have a full proposal now prepared to go to Scottish Government. We also need to check that with Practitioner Services Department to make sure it can actually physically be paid the way we'd like to do that. So once we've got that, we'll be back in touch. I know it's important for you and you've been asking questions about it, so we just need to make sure that's deliverable. Once I've got that, I'll give you a full timeline of the payments and how that recovery of the large advance will be handled. So please bear with us, and I hope you appreciate the accuracy in that particular field is important. In terms of the bank holiday that we just had of Easter, it was much busier than a normal bank holiday. We got some details today that usually it's around 50,000 items that is handled on an Easter bank holiday, and on Monday there the network processed 300,000 items, so significantly busier than it normally would be on a bank holiday. So we're also aware that you gave out of a lot of advice, a lot of calls for advice and people attending for advice, so that was great, and the NHS is certainly very grateful for you being there on Monday and on Good Friday as well. That kind of takes me on to how's that going to be paid. So the board have agreed that, are proposing that that goes into the normal cycle of payments. So that will be April, paid June into the bank. And as a result, the board would now like to approach the Scottish Government about the May public holidays and propose a similar voluntary opening at the same rates that was put in place for Easter. Now that should allow much easier and much earlier planning and coordination than we had for Easter just there. Now if, and I hopefully say when we secure that funding, I'll be back to make sure that's confirmed to you, and that'll allow you to talk to your NHS board colleagues much earlier, as I said before. Now if I was you, I would plan that the funding will be secured, because based on what I did at Easter, I fully anticipate a similar approach for May. In terms of independent prescribing, I spoke to you about that last week and just really about its importance and where we could go with the future. I'm pleased to say CPS board agreed today. So Adam Osprey, our policy and development pharmacist, has developed a framework for that. We need to get so it's signed off by the CPS board, but that needs to go to Scottish Government now, get agreement, and then we can get that out into the network and get things moving around some payments for that. In terms of some shout outs for tonight, so the first one to Felice Jacobs. You were in touch via Facebook, Felice. So a shout out for books in the Common Green in Straven, where Lindsay works with Felice's sister Lorraine Nadell. So Felice did ask for a fist bump, so there we go for the team there. And thanks for the team for everything that you're doing. And the next one in is from Dougie Miller. So this is to Emma and Lynn and the team in Lightburn and Carntine, Bryant and all the support staff at Lightburn Old Kilpatrick, and to Aroa and Bernie and all the team at Tollcross Pharmacy. Dougie just wants to express his appreciation for everything and thanks that you've done over the last wee while. And the last one out to Leslie MacArthur and Jennifer Weir down at Home Pharmacy Limited. Keep it going, team there. I know it's been hard going at times and just how busy you've been working, but everybody really is grateful for what you're doing out there in the network. So just to leave you now, that Matt asked you, what country do Panama hats come from? And it's surprisingly enough not Panama, it is Ecuador. So apparently the best Panama hats come from Ecuador. So I'm going to stay with that theme tonight. So Ecuador was released as a single by whom and in which year? So Ecuador was released as a single by whom and in which year? And I'll be back probably Sunday night to speak to you. Bye for now, teams.